on today, guys? My name is Rounisto, and if you've been watching any of these videos, you probably noticed that I'm usually talking in my car, talking about my updates on my business and so forth, but I want to really talk about something specifically today. So, the name of this video is going to be how to take the edge off of life, and you know what, I'm going to try to do my best to look at you as much as I can, but I am in a vehicle, so I apologize. It's not that I think that you're offensive looking, but hey, I don't want to die while I'm giving a presentation that could possibly help your life, right? So, life in general can get pretty hectic, right? You know, we put a lot of expectations on ourselves, or we don't, or we just don't give a shit and don't do anything, but, you know, from what I observe generally, a lot of people seem to get stressed out over a lot of stuff. Now, I say that kind of vaguely, like, people get stressed about stuff. Well, what do I mean? I mean, well, they get stressed out to begin with. So, one of the things that I can say is that when I wake up every morning and when I go to bed every night, I've got this sense of satisfaction. I'm about to say. I'm slaughtering the word. I've got a sense of satisfaction because the way I look at everything, right? Okay, so we put a lot of conditional expectations on ourselves, and whether or not we accomplish those is how we genuinely feel about ourselves and how good we're doing in life, as we could say. If we had a scorecard, we're getting a higher score the more that we're congruent with what we think we should be doing, right? Well, the problem is, obviously, if you don't achieve those, or if the goals that you even had to achieve didn't necessarily get accomplished by the same route that you expected them to, a lot of people, that's irritating, or maybe they feel gypped because it's like dumb luck or something. But that's when the focus is looking at very specific numbers, or looking at things that are kind of not out of your control, but you only have well, they are out of your control. You have an influence on them, but what they ultimately do beyond your influence kind of is out of your control. Now, you know, the law of numbers, you could do more things to accomplish more results, but ultimately, when you have the focus outside of things in your absolute control, then it gets a little sketchy. So, here's what I mean. Let's say that, for an example, right now I'm recording my audiobook. Now, my goal was to have it done by the end of the month, and one of the biggest reasons in the back of my head was because, well, for one, I've got a lot of ideas that I want to follow out, and I have a limited window that I can work on stuff. So, I know that as soon as I get done with my audiobook, I'll be free to be able to do a lot of other stuff. Okay, well, one of the habits that I've had the last couple of days is getting a chapter done within one day, within one night. So that's like a period of maybe 4 hours or something. And that works out. However, if my absolute goal is that I have to get done with one chapter every single day, that could be a little bit sketchy, because there's a lot of situations that happen where maybe I have to redo some parts because my voice isn't really, I'm not articulating really well, because sometimes it takes a second to get back into it. Sometimes I might not be able to do like a whole stream non-stop, because, you know, like, we have a little baby at our house, so maybe he might need some attention, some other stuff. But, you know, it all falls back down to the same thing, though. I'm basing it off of, well, that's a bad example, because technically I'm basing that off of results, and I could technically grind until the very end to do that. I guess a better example would be that if I'm trying to sell a certain amount of books or something, that I can only do as well as I can. But let's just get to what I wanted to say, because I kind of rambled that last part out. You got to keep your focus on things that only are within your control, and absolute control. The idea that you 100% can just try your best regardless to what's happening out there. And you know, when you try your best, when there's not any flightiness in your thoughts and you're just able to commit to whatever it is that you're doing, you can go to bed every single night with the feeling that, you know, you've done what you can do and the rest is out of your hands. Now, a lot of people don't like to give up that feeling that when something doesn't go their way that something's wrong, you know, but no, especially just like with the book The Obstacle is the Way, they talk about it's the obstacle itself that creates the opportunity. I remember they took a part from one of Marcus Aurelius's speeches about how they liken it to a giant heap, where when you throw a heap onto a fire, the fire consumes it and therefore makes it stronger. So that's kind of like how it is, you know, these different problems and situations that are little setbacks are always the opportunities that makes us into better people. Now, it might not seem that way at first, but that's, I mean, most sensibly, that's exactly what it is. Because just think about it, right? Let me see if I can think of an opportunity or something specifically that maybe happened to me. Okay, so I think I even addressed this before, but when I started recording my audiobook, I'm just going to talk about that because it's more recent on my mind. I didn't know how to do it. You know, the first 2 days were completely wasted, and I started watching videos, how do you do audio recordings and so forth. And I picked up some tips. My technique, I already knew that you can't vary the amount of distance between your microphone and your mouth, because if you have it too non-consistent, and you have it all over the place during the recording, you're going to end up with a lot of funny stuff that happens in there, just because it's not going to sound like it has continuity, right? So I knew that, but I was struggling with trying to be able to hold my book in one spot and try to actually record. And well, once I got that position, now I'm able to like bust it out, right? So I'm able to, by taking the time to try to find the optimal position rather than just haphazardly just going through and doing it, you know, like by grinding, I was able to save myself a lot of time for future recordings and made myself a way better person and made myself a way better person at recording the audiobooks or recording audios where I have to read something or hold something in my hand. So now I've got that little skill set that when it happens again, which it will, because I'm going to plan on making more books and more audiobooks, I've created the situation where now I'm able to knock it out way quicker and do it way better. And, you know, my enunciation is getting a lot better by having to do my audiobook. So that was one of the struggles. Like, I would constantly have improper inflections, but those, for an example, have helped me with videos like this, right? So I don't have to worry about a lot of ums and ums. Not that they don't happen periodically, but I've become way more aware of them now that I've been recording my voice on a regular basis. So I guess you could say that that's one of the opportunities that came up as well. So recording the audiobook was an obstacle. It's not something that I wanted to necessarily do. I would have liked to pay it off, kind of like a lot of things. But because of money circumstances and because I feel that such a book that I have written wouldn't be appropriate for somebody else to be speaking, I decided to do it myself. And as a result, I'm becoming a better speaker, right? So the obstacle becomes the opportunity. And maybe these are a little bit flimsy. Maybe I could give better examples. Maybe I even just do another video tomorrow. You know, these are videos that I need to work on my approach at anyways. So it's not like I'm really losing an audience by them. Heck, I'm still developing an audience to begin with. I'm just trying to figure out myself at this point. But that's about it. So I'm at work right now, and I gotta pull this in right here. I don't have enough room. All right, well, take care, guys.